welcome back to another episode of Bopcast, where I interview outliers who are breaking the mold regardless of the status quo and pursuing their dreams in one way or another. My name is Ryan Sullivan, also known as Sully Bop, and I started this podcast 4 years ago with a personal mission to interview people to inspire myself and hopefully inspire others. Today on the show, I have my friend Wrek. He is a rapper, songwriter, and creative. He has written and created music for the past decade almost. And today we uncover a lot about music marketing. That's kind of the first portion of the interview. But there is something really interesting about an experience that he had in a barbershop, and it has to do with a very well-known TV show. So I'll let you get to that in the episode. There are timestamps, whether you're watching on the video version or listening on the audio, so you can use those to navigate. And I just have to say thanks for listening and watching. This is a 100% listener-supported show, so if you could please share this with a friend, that would really help us out. So thank you so much for tuning in, and please enjoy the episode with my friend Wrek.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bopcast. Today on the show, I have my guy Wrek. What's up, boy?
What's going on, my brother? It's Wrek over here, yo.
We're living.
Yes, we are. We're living large, living like Larry.
This is overdue, my brother.
Very overdue. We actually tried to do this on a late night vibe, but it didn't work out.
Dude, sometimes it's kind of, it just does its thing, man. Life just kind of tell you have a plan, and then
it don't always work out the way you want it. But I really like how respectfully you wanted to give me the amount of time.
Oh, dude, I am not. I don't know about you, but I am not like an up late type of.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I'm very opposite, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be up in the night owl hours, nocturnal type vibes.
Dude, so I really like what you do. I love your videos. I love the videos you've done with Brandon. There's many different ways you can start something like this, and like going into your background I think is important, or maybe what you do I think is important, but I would like to ask you something off the gate, at the gate, and see if it sticks,
What's up?
So there was like these 3 guys in college, and I tried to remember their names, dude, and I didn't write it down.
Yeah, it's like
Mac. One of them's Mac.
Yeah.
And the other one?
Socks,
and then something with a D or a B.
B. You close.
Burke.
Yeah, you got it.
That.
Yeah. Burke.
But I just thought that would be a fun way to kind of get into your music,
facts,
and
bro.
instead of just being like, "Tell me about the first time you did music," I'll
probably
ask you that one too, man. But I figured maybe that story would be a way to tie in kind of what you do now.
Nah, for sure. So like I said before, there was 3 of them. There was like Mac, Socks, and Burke, and like one of them, his artist name now, he goes by Joshua Rare. We call Burke Birchie. He's like a really, really good producer right now, man. But basically, like I said, like we used to just always freestyle at one point, like always just be in like either Brandon's room, like we was in college dorms at the time, so we'd be in like each other's different like rooms and shit, just like putting on beats on the TV and shit, or the Xbox or whatever. And we would just freestyle, and like I wasn't like always the best, I was still learning, like I was still getting better with flows and things like that. And they were like really good, bro, and like it was like a great no judgment zone kind of thing. So like they kind of always like still found a way to really like make sure I keep going after, no matter how many times like I fuck up, no matter how many times like I think about like stopping or whatever, shit like that. They just tell you like go through the motions, like and I've been doing this for so long now. It's like the amount of times I've heard like go through the motions, like just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I've probably heard that shit like over 1,000 times, and like here I am, here we are, at least like we're still like going in what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter like how many times we failed, bro, that shit was really like I'm always like grateful for that. I always look back at it and I think about like, damn, like I could have stopped, but like now I just like I was a little instrumental like growing up. Like the first instrument I ever played was like the violin. And I'm not even gonna lie, bro,
not a
like,
bad start though.
No, it wasn't bad, like, and I'm not gonna lie, like I fucked with it. It was cool, like I practiced it a lot, but like the teacher he had, she was like this like old Russian lady. Like she was rude as shit, bro. She was really like, oh god, like I was in like elementary school doing this shit too, bro. So like I'm like in 4th, 5th grade doing this shit. I did it for like 2 years, I think. Like it was funny as hell. Like I was carrying my violin to school every day. My mom was running out sometimes to make sure I don't forget that shit. It was funny as hell. But like she would always make me sit, like at one point when we used to do it, she would always make me sit in the back of the I forgot what that shit was even called, like the orchestra or whatever, like, and I was in the back chairs, and I'd be like, one time I asked her, I was like, how come like I'm always in the back? She was like, because like the people that sound bad sit in the back. I was just like, word, that's really crazy.
My
like,
God,
yeah,
yo.
she was like really rude. Like if people were off key, whatever, like she would just be on top of that shit. Like, you know, but like, you know, I bet she's bred some great violin players. You know, no hate to her. Like that's just the tough love she be giving out. But like after that, like I played piano for a long time. Like my pops copped me one like when I was like in middle school, and like I played that shit for like 3 years. Like I was always like, you know, I drew the notes down on the keyboard and everything. Like I just like watched my YouTube. Like I would have the YouTube videos like set up there and everything. And you know, I guess like through high school I stopped like really with like getting into the instrumental stuff. Like I was doing sports and stuff like that, and then I got back. Freestyling was like something I was just doing in high school, like with my friends and shit during classes. And then through college, like, and like after I was doing it so much with Burke, Mac, and Socks, bro, it's like I was getting to a point where it was just like, all right, now I'm fluently, like it's like conversation when we rap, you know. It's like now I'm fluently talking to these people, and like we're just flowing together, and it's like we could pass on the flows whenever, and like now it's like we still do it, bro. We was just doing that shit last week.
Do you think that freestyling is 100% just straight repetition in terms of getting better, or do you think like, because I feel like there's kind of like a little bit of a mystical element to it where it's like sometimes I can not freestyle for so long and then I could just rip a crazy freestyle, and then the next day I could try it again and it won't be anything. So
I think as far as freestyling, it is kind of like there is a consistency factor to it. If you want to get to a base level of like good for you, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like a base level is like every time you start freestyling with your friends, like you're always doing that same, like you're starting to flow off right, you're keeping things going, like you're not stuttering, you're not fucking up, but like maybe like after 4 bars you got nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like I've seen people that have never done it before, like, you know, do that shit so fluently. And
yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think practice makes perfect for everything, and like everyone always got some kind of room for improvement. And I feel like anyone that does it really well, like, might say they don't practice, but they're definitely, you know.
I could think about it for myself. I freestyled every day for years, it felt like.
Exactly.
So for me to now not really do it that much, but then know how to do it, like, I can do it better than like any person on the street probably, like if they're not a rapper, like you can too.
Oh yeah,
just because you put in so much work. So even then, if you didn't do it for a while, you would still be able to do, compared to the general public, you've put in so many more hours.
You know, I'm also like, I don't know, as an artist, like I don't always claim myself a rapper. I like to rap, you know. As an artist, like I've grown my own sound and like my own kind of wave, my own kind of beats that I have a different sound selection for myself, you know. So when it even comes to like freestyling, like, you know, people will be like, oh, freestyling, like just put any kind of beat on, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, even then, like, just because you can't rap on that kind of beat doesn't mean you're a bad freestyler necessarily. It's like, you know, I was just freestyling with my boys the other day.
There's so many beats
there's
that I
so many kind of like flows or moods or vibes or whatever that, like, you know, you could get on, you know. And it depends what you're gonna talk about. It's like you can throw a trap beat on around me and it's cool and all. It's like, I guess we could talk about guns and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's not what we actually do. That's like, you won't find that in my songs. Songwriting, making songs is a whole different thing in freestyling at the end of the day. You freestyle with your friends, and sometimes that shit is just mad funny. You guys say whatever the fuck you want to say, like some weird shit, whatever. Like everyone just be fucking around and saying some funny shit. Like, so it just comes down to however you like to do it.
Do you find yourself freestyling less now though than you used to do?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a natural thing, and that's kind of why.
Only because I mean, naturally I guess I freestyle with myself every night when I write, I guess, you know, things like that. But on a natural thing, it's like I just don't go out as much as I used to, you know. Like I'm not always in like the same settings I used to be in.
Yeah. Where
like people used to do it, but I'm always listening to my own beats. I'm always listening to what producers send me, things like that. I'm always writing in my room, freestyling to a beat. Like, sometimes I have to marinate in a beat, you know what I'm saying? Like before I even write to it, things like that. So
do you find yourself listening to a beat and just not having anything for it, and then
later
on,
oh hell yeah,
just...
oh yeah, bro, sometimes my process of writing could take like so long just because like I'm stuck on a beat, but like not in a bad way stuck, just like I'm just listening to that shit, like I'm still listening to that shit, like, you know, putting things together. But there's been so many times where I've liked the beat, and you know, even if I didn't end up writing to it, or if like I threw it away, you know what I'm saying, I wrote something and I threw it away, or I recorded, I just love listening. I enjoy listening to beats, you know what I'm saying? So that shit is kind of just, I love it. Like I'll stick to a beat for a week just cause like it sounds great.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, it's just a vibe. I like to vibe. I like to space out. That's also how I try to direct my music towards, like spacing out. Like,
what do you mean by that?
I don't know, man. Like you could just listen to it while you're like smoking. You can just listen to it while you're relaxing. The sound selection I use is more so like outside the box kind of sounds, I guess you could say, and they just more on the melancholic kind of vibes, like sounds that are captivating, sounds that are just like
so not sad, but
not necessarily, sometimes sad, but like, you know, I use elements of like sadness to show growth, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's lessons in pain, not in pleasure at the end of the day. So like I try to direct my music towards like growth and how you know, I'm a fuck up, everyone, you know, I don't know who, a lot of people could be fuck ups, you know, and
that's powerful though. It really comes from the pain.
It all comes from the heart, for sure.
I truly do believe that change really only comes from pain. I mean, there's no, you know, you talk, you just mentioned a song, but I think just in general in our lives, I don't think anything really changes without some kind of pain in one direction or another. Either we're giving somebody pain, and if we're doing that, ultimately we're in pain, right?
You're learning. I mean, yeah, you're learning a lot more from your stages of pain than you do from, not necessarily, like everyone's subjective to everybody, but you learn more in pain than, you know, when you have your downfalls. You learn a lot of lessons when you're up. I feel like people get comfortable. Happiness like can breed comfortability. Is
there anything specific that you've written about, like any specific time that you've written about specifically that was like a particularly painful experience that you turned into a song?
Well, yeah, definitely COVID was a big thing. Obviously, like any kind of, everybody's gone through like a breakup or some kind of like toxic relationship of some sorts. People have traumas. People have you know, issues with their family growing up, or even standards they have to live by, their own expectations of other people. I guess like a lot of my music came from growing up in uncomfortable situations where I feel like a lot of things were transactional with the people I dealt with, as far as like strings attached to like anything that we do together, you know what I'm saying? And that came from all types of people. Like I'm not gonna name anyone, you know, specifically, but all types of relationships, and it could come from your family, it could come from your friends, it could come from your cousins, like things like that. So I just felt like growing up, all that like kind of just fueled how I wrote, or how I like made my stand in my music. Necessarily,
was it like the release, was your music the release for you from that, or was music like
it was the outlet? It was just the outlet going through everything. At the end of the day, like I don't treat my music like it's necessarily work, a job. You know, it's really what I do. Like I write on a regular, just to like, not necessarily a journal, but I write things down that might have happened that I need to remember, or I might write things down, like the thoughts I have through the certain day, I'll just write them down instantaneously just so I don't forget them, things like that. But like, and, you know, it's just so like they're not necessarily the bar, but I'm writing down something that could create the bar, the lyric, the whole sentence, whatever I'm gonna rap.
Does it start like that? Will a song start like that for you, in like a statement or a sentence or something that you just one thing that you write down, or are you more of a concept song guy where you go, I got a song concept and I'm just gonna, okay, here's the goal, and now I'm gonna write the song? Or does it mostly start out, or is it mix?
Sometimes it's crazy because sometimes I don't plan. Like it just the song comes out, but like if I start the topic myself, I'll be like already in that subject, and I'll just be like going off of that subject, and I'll pull that subject from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I can transition it to anything that is relatable to that subject still, you know what I'm saying? Like, find a way to just flow through it. I guess sometimes the name of the beat gives me the topic. You know, the producer themselves just named the beat something. Like, I don't even know.
Isn't it funny, not to cut you off there, but
no,
just because I think that you're going to understand this, when the producer names the beat correctly, like, when they name it to the name of the beat matches the beat so perfectly, you go, all right, we're on to something here. Like, now I can build off of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, or it's either that or I got something from it. But sometimes it's way off, but other times it's very...
Yeah, and then sometimes like I'll just not come up with anything for a hot minute, and then I'll get that first line, and then I'll go from there, like, and it just comes together. Or I'll, you know, like, that's another thing about listening to the beat so many times, like, even if it takes a week, listening to the beat so many times made me X out the amount of flows I'm not going to use, at least, like, what I know it doesn't work. So it kind of just, like, forces me into a bubble, I guess, to figure out what is going to, you know? So that makes me challenge myself sometimes to, like, come up with, like, a new, you know, my own little thing.
Yeah, just to throw together all, like, because you're mixing, like, the intuition side of it and then also the formatting side. Yeah, because you know it needs to be a song.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate, like, you know, having to, like, structure the song, like, you know, and I definitely pace myself when I do that. Figure out, like, you know, at what point I like stop the rapping, like, do something, you know.
Do you think about, like, the other ways that the song's going to be used when you're making the song? Do you think about the performance? Do you think about the music video?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be talking to Brandon about this all the time too, especially when it comes to the video side, but even when it comes to performing, like, I'll write that song, you know, with, you know, good breath control, so that I know, you know, so I can perform that song well and not, you know, fuck up and lose my breath and shit like that.
Man, I fucked up on that.
I got asthma, bro. I got asthma, so I really sometimes.
Yeah, no shit.
No, I got asthma, yeah, for sure. So, like, I just, you know, but, like, that's just, I just be doing my best to, like, pace myself when I write, like, but, you know, I can always speed it up a little bit.
Do you feel it when you're rapping, though? Do you feel the asthma at all? Or?
Like, I'll feel myself, you know, losing breath at one point. Like, I feel like my shortness of breath is definitely quicker than, like, the average person's when it comes to that, you know, for sure. Smoking don't help it, but, you know, we do what we do.
It's pros and cons to what we do.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly.
But you think about that side.
Yeah, I think about that for sure. I definitely think about, like, how I could perform it, because, you know, you're not always going to perform it the same way that you exactly wrote it or the exact way you delivered it when you recorded. So, like, I always try to deliver it different ways when I rap it too, because it's, like, cool to see how it sounds differently, like, you know, or slow your own tempo up, speed your own tempo up, things like that. So yeah.
Is performing a big part of what you're doing? Or?
Oh yeah, bro. I love to perform, for real. It's like a happy place for me, honestly. When we
wait, in terms of, like, you don't get nervous, or you get nervous?
I mean, everybody gets that little nervousness before they do something, you know, like, that they're about to do under pressure, as in, like, you know, there's eyes all over you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like like sports athletes, things like that, like, that nervousness, so you're still feeling, but you kind of just kind of, like, zone out. I kind of just zone out.
I do too, but dude, I don't know what I'm doing when I'm like, I need to, like, somehow figure out how to zone out and also be, like, self-aware at the same time.
Well, I mean, anytime I'm about to perform, I reherse, for sure. Like, I rehearse a lot.
Like, so, in your room, or, like, whatever,
anywhere, in my car, in my room. Anytime I get a chance, like, I feel like just do it.
I've done that, but I felt like it didn't help me.
I mean,
like, it let me learn the lyrics of the song more, but it didn't help me perform better. And I wanted to figure out, and then I realized that performing, you just have to perform more, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely just gotta drive the wheel a lot. Like, it's like starting to drive manual and never doing it before. Like, you definitely gotta just go with it, learn how to do it off rip. But I guess I could say I've done it, like, a good amount of times now, to the point where like I know how to represent with body language when I perform. Keep my breath control right. I also like play, use my backing tracks. I don't just play like my whole song on the speaker so that like my lyrics are over like how I sound on the microphone. Like I practice my lyrics. I rap my shit.
Do you think about the crowd engagement side of it? Or?
Oh yeah, exactly, for sure. Actually, me and my boy Zave the Ripper,
he's been on here. Shout out to
yeah. Shout out to Zave. That's my brother for real. We just performed one of our recent singles, I Don't Even Care. It was a remix on his original single. And like that's my brother. Like we just be listening to shit. We used to make beats like together all the time and things like that. And bro, like we just had to make that shit a song. We performed it at Wrek Studios, Wrek Productions in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. Fireplace, definitely if you want to get your video set up there or whatever. But we killed that shit because we definitely got the crowd jumping through our energy. Like at the end, and people were chanting the shit.
Did you practice that performance at all with both
so
of
we
you,
me and him didn't, but we were kind of just on like some
I was gonna say you probably didn't need to, like
we really didn't. It's sometimes it's just like that, like you just don't
you
just don't even need to. And like we were just on that same, he's done his fair share of practicing as well, so
I got a few of those songs where it's like I could do that anytime, anywhere, any state. I just know the song so good. And I had that with my friend Cy, dude. We did this track. We made it like not even together. We weren't even together. We were just sending verses back and forth. Put the song together. Then it ended up getting like doing pretty good on plays when he dropped it. I was like, all right, cool. And then we did a couple performances with it. And then we were at like a little bit bigger music festival doing it. And it was just crazy to think about. Yeah, and like every time, like I don't have to think about that. So, like that song, like just whenever we got like with the words and the sentiment of the song, people just get it wherever you perform it, type of thing. And
as long as you could like put that delivery in, like the crowd's gonna like, they're gonna take it in some way and they're gonna like send it back. You feel me? It's like energy literally just passing back and forth. Like they're gonna vibe with you as long as you like you are the shit up there. Because you can't be going up on the stage like, and it's okay to fuck up, just pick it back up, you know what I'm saying? But you can't be going on the stage fucking up and then apologizing on stage, because like the more you apologize, or like the more people are gonna be like, all right, like now you pushing it like on to the next.
I think you're supposed to be like
not all crowds are gonna be the same for sure. So
no, but you're supposed to know, like if you're the artist, like you're telling me what's good. I'm not supposed to tell you what. I'm not supposed to be like, well, that sucked. Like, you should have did this differently. Like, the crowd is there for you to be you pick the song. You tell me the shit's good.
Yeah, you control it.
You control it. That's what they're there for. They're ready to feed their energy into you.
Exactly. Yeah, they're there to see a show, man. You just gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah, but that's like, I agree. But to actually do it effectively is a whole animal. You
got to build that team.
Yes.
So when it comes to that team, like you gotta have somebody. If you got your own DJ, man, whatever, get into a space and just really perform it together, like in front of a mirror, whatever you gotta do, like to figure it out, and just really put your energy into it when you get on that stage. Like you putting a show on, it's but it depends on the setting too. Like if it's if you had a bar, venue, things like that, it could be different. You should put your heart into it. At the end of the day, like people are gonna resonate. It's gonna project. It's a vibe.
I got something for you.
So what's up?
So let me figure out how to format this. So when you started releasing music, you had some songs kind of do pretty well in terms of plays, like off the rip, or a little bit earlier on, I would say.
They do, through some marketing for sure.
Through some marketing, I'd like to go into that too. Has your opinion of what plays can do for you changed since that point? Like, do you value performing more, or do you value plays more? Do you value the fan? Like, where has your mindset on music shifted at all? Because like you came out the gate. You just mentioned that you marketed it, which I think like it's neither here nor there really. Like I think it's important, but I think that still plays. Like those songs still. People still listen to them. It wasn't a waste of time.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
But
I just I never got the grasp, I guess, necessarily. So it didn't exactly go where I wanted it to go.
Where did you want it to go?
Not necessarily like I wanted it to like blow me up or anything, but you know, it definitely hit a point where not like it kind of stabilized, and then I guess the marketing kind of stopped, and then like, you know, it was you know.
Did you have somebody doing this for you? Or?
No, I was trying to do it myself, so that's where like that's
well, that's impressive though. If you did if you got some traction that way.
I had help for sure. Like I had people like mentoring for me and stuff. There was definitely methods that I came through using that like I didn't really like using.
Yeah.
Not as far as like anything.
Like pay for plays and stuff like that.
Not necessarily pay for plays or anything, but like I was definitely like trying to like pay for playlists and stuff like that, and like it seemed all legit like through like what it was and stuff, but I guess it wasn't what it seemed, or I just didn't take advantage the right way necessarily of like as far as marketing while it was being on those playlists or things like that. So you know, that was just like a entrance level phase for me, I guess. I was just trying to figure it out, go through like the motions, figure out like what actually works for me and whatnot. I can't even say like, I'm not gonna necessarily say like I'm a good marketer or anything. I'm just definitely.
No, I think you have a strong brand though.
Yeah, I'm learning as I go.
You seem to be prioritizing it. I think we all are, because we kind of know that we have to. I don't think that
I pick. I'm like a vessel, man. Like I just pick like any information up from any person. Like, not saying that some people are bad sources or good sources, but all the sources I'm picking up.
You were telling me off camera too about these guys who do this music marketing.
Oh yeah, that's shout out to Diggy Metro and Bales Pagliacci. They got the Rapper's Guide podcast. It's basically teaching people about like the music business and everything, and it's really they're really good at it. Yeah.
Are you making moves like consistently in your marketing in terms of like, do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy? Like, I really don't personally, and that's why I ask people. So
I definitely got strategies as far as promotion, how we self-promote, me and the boys, like me and the team, as far as that. But it just comes down to doing, I guess, campaigns and things like that where I just don't know where to.
Is that ads or what? Are you running ads? Like,
we were, like I tried running ads too on like Facebook advertisement and everything. And that was doing good on one of my songs, Over Easy with Max Z. And like I said, I had a good push with it, and then I lost it because I just couldn't get a grasp of it, or I couldn't figure out like what was working, what wasn't, and things like that. So I just don't know how to.
Think it was worth it though.
It was definitely worth it for sure. Like,
but if you flipped on Ads Manager again and got it back going, like, do you think you like is that? I think
because
I look at it as, I'll say this, man.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for sure.
I only want to do it organically. I think I might supplement with ads, but I think that you can choose the organic lane. But this is the thing: you can't just make music videos, unfortunately.
No,
like you can't make music videos and then just promote music videos and expect that to grow if you're not either running ads or doing something else.
So back to your initial question about like what I think is the best at as far as performing, you know, videos or whatever.
Yeah.
I think generally the word to mouth and the networking that you do with people, like when you go to events, things like that, is the best way to actually put your shit out there. Okay. Or like it'll put you in like, I don't know, I just always found that word to mouth always ended up working the best. So I'm not necessarily saying that not promoting your music or not advertising. Scale,
that's the only issue.
It's just like it doesn't scale the same, obviously, but you know.
Same with me, dude. 100% same with me. Like it has been the best.
It's hard to put like my finger on it. You know what I'm saying? It's a big monster. Like you just can't even figure out. Like honestly, I'm still trying to like. I couldn't tell you exactly. I could tell you. You know, because if you were an artist that just started or something and you came to me for tips, like I could tell you only what I've been taught
or what you do
or what I done. Exactly, or what I do or what I've done, and I can't even necessarily tell somebody. I can tell people what doesn't work because of the mistakes I've made, but I can't coach somebody necessarily. Like if somebody asks me, like and I've had people come up to me for tips and things like that, and I'm just like, bro, I'm kind of like, I don't even know, bro. Like I'm doing this shit myself too, bro. I'm figuring this shit out.
What are you doing?
Well, yeah, I'd be like, what are you doing? Maybe I can.
Some trade secrets.
Yeah, you trying to trade cheat codes, like.
Yeah, right. I noticed, in terms of your releases, you've done a lot of singles. Is that true?
Yeah, I I've been on the single wave for the most part right now, only because I've done one experimental tape. It was like 5-6 songs. It was called Boy Wonder. You know, it was good. I really liked it and everything. I feel like I haven't necessarily made that like baby yet. You know, that one baby first. You know what I'm talking about? Like that album, that first, like, not even album or whatever, mixtape, just that first, like, baby that you put out into the world. Like,
oh, you're talking in the terms of a project.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably do both at the same time.
Hey,
maybe.
yo.
Shout out to Black, dude. The guy, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, like 6. Yeah.
Could have just spelled the word, son. It confused the hell out of me. But anyway, shout out to him because of that picture. You know that picture?
Yeah.
Baby, I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
That's dope. Like that. Such a sick picture.
Nah, for real. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, bro. So, as far as a project, I feel like I don't want to just make projects that. Not saying like it's bad to do it, but I feel like a lot of people put out a lot of quantity. Like I like to just. Not it's quality for me for sure, but I want to put a project together that's, you know, every song is quality, and it's gonna mean something to me. You know, like I want that message to really speak in that project. And I guess just because, like, you know, one thing is, and I'm not beating myself up for it ever. It's like I want to experience life for sure, not necessarily to the fullest to write this project, but I want to experience a lot of life, a lot of things that like re-jog my memory, a lot of things that like remind me of like self flaws about myself. I'll talk shit about myself on a whole song, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. So
self-deprecation as an artist,
not necessarily self-deprecation.
No, but not self-deprecation on it in a negative.
But I will point out my negatives, you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared to show my vulnerability, or I'm not scared to necessarily tell people how I messed up, just to let them figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If they are going through that same kind of mess up or something like that mess up, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna feel like not alone. They're gonna feel like, you know, a lot of people are actually going through this for real. Like, so
you can do what music has done for you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're
absolutely
an artist.
Everybody's story is powerful for real. Like, because just because of the artists you hear now, you know, are making what they make, doesn't mean like because you're not living that exact life, you're not going through it. I'm kind of losing myself here a little bit, but
I get you.
But it's more so saying like your life is something relatable to somebody else out there.
Yes.
And your life is gonna still touch a lot of people, because if they didn't go through it, they're gonna think about like, what if I went through it? You know what I mean?
Don't you think that there's so many artists that it's like for somebody to find, there's a lot of people who would find your song, probably millions, who would resonate with it and become a fan if only that many people could listen to your song.
Yeah.
Like, is that it though? Like, is that, because I think about it, I'm like, all right, if 10 million people listen to one of my songs, if you put right now headphones on 10 million people, how, like, just in the world, somebody went up to them and said, hey dude, I gotta put these headphones, you have to listen to this song. Here's $100. They'd be like, okay, I'll listen to the song. And 10 million at one time, how many would become fans? It's like, is it a quantity issue in terms of
the retention would probably only
viewership,
25% or something?
Yeah, it would probably
be very low.
I mean, it would probably be much lower. Yeah, I would guess like social media numbers, 5-10%. You know, but I think about that too. I'm like, is that? I think that is the actual difference between that and execution, but between artists, kind of like the pro versus the amateur, you know, or the pro versus the middle of the road guy.
All I'm gonna say is I know that the people up there for sure, like Drake's or J. Cole's, whatever, they are still marketing their music. So there's no reason, there's never a reason to stop marketing.
Well, they're marketing to their own fans too.
Yeah, and because they have a targeted fan base, obviously now, and there's a difference between a fan and a following. There's like, you know, a following through a viral song is different than a created fan base that you grew over like 5 years through performances and things like that. But, you know, there's never a reason to stop market. You know, they have to still market. They still have to. So that's why I will always be trying to figure it out, you know.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah. So shouts out to Rappers Guys. Yeah. They teach you a lot. No, I'm serious, man. Like, they got a lot of gems on that.
Called I Am Northbound. That's a podcast about the music industry. There's a few people that I follow on Instagram too that just drop bombs, man, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't know this about copyright. I didn't. James Landry is one of them. They'll start popping up. Wendy Day.
James Landry, through some of my marketing experience, I went through De Novo Agency, which I've spoken to them before, so they're good at sales. No, they're
and marketing. They have a great all around. They're a good agency.
They're great.
They know how to talk to artists.
Very knowledgeable people for sure, and I've done works with them for sure, and I guess that's where it came down to the songs that were doing really good. I didn't figure out how to take it. I wasn't even trying. I didn't figure out how to take it and keep it going.
Yes,
basically in the simplest form.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm not even going in that lane. I'm I'll max out organic before I even touch paid. I will post 3 to 5 vertical videos a day before I go and promote something. Because I know none of us are maxing out our organic shit. We just want the pay to play way, which is pay for ads. But I know that organic, if you just make the right shit, you just have to make, in terms of content, you just have to make such good content, and it's so hard to make as an artist or a rapper, to make original content that will just start popping on its own. It's so hard. You have to have such a, maybe it's not, maybe I'm overcomplicating it, but I just think it's hard to, all artists are unique. There's a reason why some have 100,000 and some have 3, and that's definitely a difference in just how good the content is, I would think.
Yeah, man, there's definitely I've heard a lot of talent out there that aren't getting plays on their music, but they're really, really, really good. Better than some of the people that are getting,
It's a difference of marketing.
Yeah, it really just comes down, And I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's not what it should be, I guess. Because the talent should be heard.
Yeah, kind of. Not really.
Not for free, obviously.
Well, the problem is it should be if it was an ideal world, but it's not. So it's talent isn't rewarded; it's attention that's rewarded.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
grind behind the talent that is rewarded.
Yeah.
It's one thing to just be talented,
but there's no way, dude. If you're that talented, you're doing marketing. It's if you're the most talented person in the world and you're not doing marketing, then you're not that talented, because you would be doing it if you were so good.
But the
or is that a lack of knowledge? Is that a lack of knowledge?
I'm not gonna say it's a lack of knowledge. It's just a perspective that you got. You know what I'm saying? But it comes down to like I was saying, the grind behind the talent is a whole different beast. You got to do more than just be at home and make your own songs. You gotta go out to the shit. You gotta show face. You gotta meet these other people that are doing this shit. Collaborate. I've been doing songwriting, things like that myself, trying to help other people make their own projects, things like that. And it just comes down to, that's where the word to mouth comes in. The kindness at the end of the day will always come back to you from the universe.
Yeah.
And the amount of work you put in will always come back from the universe as well. So it's one thing to be talented and feel like you're entitled. You know what I mean? If you're talented and entitled, it don't work like that. But talented people should be heard for sure, as long as they're putting the grind behind it. I'm just not necessarily happy with the kind of grind you got to put in now, because it's all not about the art anymore, if that makes sense.
No, it's
it's not about the art anymore, I feel like. So it just comes down to, but that's the point of finding your targeted fan base and those real ones.
It's not about the music. It's more about the content. That's what I think.
Yeah. Are you setting trends?
We got so caught up in the content that we forgot about the context.
Mm-hmm.
And the context is, this is not a content creator. This is an artist / rapper or whatever, or a singer. It's by default, this is not somebody who just does this. They make the art. That's hard enough. That's why I think a team's important, which I don't really have one.
That's
for
why
my music,
I think a team is important, and that's why marketing is important. Because if you do get to that point where you don't have to create content. There's so many artists that aren't creating content on a daily basis, but they are marketing still, and that's what's keeping the trafficking for their plays. That's what's getting their ticket sales. You know.
No, I think it's black and
white. It's the artists that are dropping albums every 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? Those are the artists that you're not seeing shit on TikTok from. You know what I'm saying? Aren't posting every day, but they got their strong, like, go hard fan base because, you know, they're marketed to them. And
I am with you, though,
you
about it. Yeah, also about it being this landscape now where that seems like the only way.
Yeah, it's not the only way, but, like, yeah, for a certain point, you're going to feel like you're going to have to push yourself. Like, you got to show a lot of face. You got to do a lot of things with content, you know, and just get a lot of people on board. But once those people are on board, you know, the people that are really, like, fucking with you are going to, it's going to resonate with them, and they're going to know that they're fucking with you, and they're going to always tell you, like, things like that.
Dude, I appreciate this conversation on marketing because I'm fascinated with seeing artists where I go, wow, they do it so well, but I'm like, somehow, like, I want to do it differently. I want to do it my own way, and I've tried, and really realistically, it's just like, it's about what you prioritize, you know? So I always like to see, and you know, the mindset of other people and see where they put it on their, you know, pedestal of
at the end of the day important. If the music, like, work on the music, if the music is really what you love and you work on the music and you make the music really good, like, the music will market itself too. You know what I'm saying?
It should.
And by, like, and it's not just like how good you are, but, like, find that engineer that is really good. You know, invest that money that will make your song better. Invest that money on a beat that you know you could kill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta, like, take those risks at the end of the day. I work 2 jobs, man. Like, I barely have time for myself, but I still try to find a way to, like, at least squeeze in the making a song, like, a week at least, or trying to hit the stew as frequent as I can to get those songs a vault ready to just drop, you know?
It seems like work and consistency, and coming back to what you said in the beginning too, or I don't know if it was in the beginning.
You gotta live life, and the consistency will come out of it, because you will have those experiences to talk about. It depends how you make your music or what you making about, you know, what your music is about. But for me, it's just my life, man.
Yeah,
it's just my life.
And speaking of that, perfect transition. Just had that. Like I said, I really appreciate that conversation on music and marketing, kind of the landscape, because it does change, and it has changed, and it is changed. And before you jump in, I'll just wrap that thought up. In terms of your trajectory now, you meet these guys, okay? They're freestyle. You're like, this is cool. These guys are just, because I have questions about this too. Before we keep going here, to set a little more context on that situation, are these guys recording anything, or are they only freestyling?
Nah. So, like I said, my boy Socks, who is his artist name now is Joshua Rare. He makes music, and he's really, 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 really good. I think he's a really good songwriter. He actually, like, me and him, we go back and forth, like, on some friendly rivalry shit. But, like, every time he drop a song and, like, I hear it and it's, like, mad good, I'll be like, fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way, but it's just like, damn, like, he going crazy, bro. And, like, nah, I just gotta go harder, bro. Like, I gotta go harder now. Like, we definitely, like, motivate, like, extrinsically motivate each other to keep going in this shit for sure. But he's fire. And my boy Burke can rap too, but he don't, you know, he just stick to the producing. That's what he like to do. He's really, really good at that. He's popping off for sure, man. He's got hella productions with artists like Tennis Boy Will. He's got one with Fetty Wap. Like, he's doing his thing, man. He's a Birchie Goat, man. That's my brother.
So these guys kept going.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
As you did as well.
Mm-hmm. And to this day we're connected. We're tapped in.
What was the timeline though? So, like, that happens. You're in college at this point. You don't though. You don't stay in college. Then you go back to college, right? Am I correct?
No, we all stayed at college.
So you never dropped out or anything?
I took, like, a little break.
Okay. You took a leave of absence.
A leave of absence, as I would like to say. And I came back, but, you know, they're older than me, so Socks had finished somewhere else. He left FDU, and Burke had graduated from there. Mac also transferred as well. And I took my leave of absence, came back, I graduated. And yeah.
Where was music for you in the leave of absence time? Were you doing music at that time? Or?
I was doing music through every point of my life. Through my brokest points, through my...
Dude, what is there any moment when you don't allow anything to get in front of that, like in terms of prioritizing it?
It's not
because
even
that's what happens to me personally.
It's not that it comes down to like prioritizing it. It's just generally like what I like to do.
So it's like as if somebody like, all right, dude, I gotta work out 3 days a week or whatever.
No. It's that second instinct that you have. It's just like I just gotta do it. Like that's what you just. Or if you like to paint and like you just gotta get like. You just gotta paint some shit every day. I don't know, man. Like it's just that passion in you, literally, like that makes you want to keep doing it. So, like I said, like I've done it like through my happiest points, through my brokest points ever, like, and it was just always there for me. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm always there for that. Like, yeah, bro. Thinking back on it now, like that shit's been in my basement. That's just been like. In a small ass room that I used to live in like a literal closet, and I just had my mic in the corner still set up. I always find a way to set up my mic in a room, no matter how I have to do it. But you know, man, and I have like all the shit I need on my laptop. You know, at like my earlier points, I wasn't really recording with like the best equipment and shit like that. But through the experience and learning through other people, I got like a mentor basically, and through all that, I just upgraded everything. So now I have like a way better mic. I know how to record better. I can do a little bit of the mixing by myself. I could do a little producing, you know.
Was a mentor that just a friend of yours or?
It's Diggy Metro. He's my boy, bro. He's just like he's an engineer and he's on that podcast basically, and he's just like for a while I was like going to him to get my songs mixed. And he was just always teaching me like little things like how to record better or, you know, send stems better. Or like he'll just teach me things as I watch him mix the whole song about plugins and show me. He'll just always put me on, you know what I'm saying? He was never scared to like drop a gem on somebody. He was actually like, he would always tell me, he's like, you know, he enjoyed that I was like, I'm like a vessel, like I was saying earlier, like, you drop a gem on me, man, I'm not going to sit there and argue with it about it. I'm not going to act like I know more than you about it. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be a fraud. Like, if it's something I feel like, damn, like, or if it's even critical feedback, you know, constructive criticism, whatever, I'm just going to be like, okay, maybe I could do that. Or maybe I am wrong. Or maybe I didn't know this. Now I can put this and apply it to what I do. Like,
it comes back to delivering value too, like
yeah, and it's very valuable to me at the end of the day, the knowledge and
and what he's doing is the approach that I recommend, which is his free advice was better than advice you'll get from somebody to probably pay them for.
No, 100%,
because it was perfectly
exactly.
specific to you.
He's taught me things that like probably work better than what I've heard from all these people that try to push a price, you know?
Yes.
And
because that's their thing isn't as much value with a lot of people. It's more of make my money.
Yeah.
I got to make my money.
It's a business for them, which I don't, you know, it's the grind.
Dude, I'm willing to give people, like if you came to me and you're like, I have a podcast, but I don't have $300 or $200. If you showed me your bank account, if you're super broke and you have $100, I'll probably just do it for free.
Yeah, no, that's.
But if you have the money, like then it's a value exchange. Yeah, but it's like.
No, but like that's what makes you a real person. Like you're down to spread that knowledge. Sometimes, man, you know, life is hard. I get it. Everybody gets it.
I believe in. Well, that's kind of somewhat. It's kind of like apprenticeship a little bit. And I interned at a studio for free. Like they didn't pay me, but I got to hang out and ask questions. That was the best experience. One of the best experiences of my life, man.
Yeah,
you know, I went there every day. I wasn't getting paid. I was living off savings. I was like, I'll do this till my savings runs out.
Yeah, bro. That's sometimes that's the energy you gotta have to really put into this shit. I put a lot. If I had to explain how many times I went broke for what I do, it would be endless list. I probably, if I had $1 for every time I did it, I'd be a millionaire. Like, it's funny as shit for real.
Well, and that's why that's a props to your work ethic, man, because the fact that you're working these jobs and still staying on the music grind too. Do you ever see yourself just taking the plunge and just going? Like, what is that a goal for you, or would you always want to have something else going on?
Man, like I've thought about so many things about to do with like my own music and things, and everybody's so, not everybody, but I feel like the main social media wave is to get viral, get famous, do this, do that. I'm trying to, you can make a living off of just making music. It doesn't have to be billions, it doesn't have to be millions, but you can make $300K a year, you can make $400K a year being an artist.
Yeah, but just to get by, you need like 30. It's like if you could just make like 30 to 50, you'd be living life.
You know what I'm saying? If you can make 80 to 90K and then still have your own job or a side hustle, you know what I'm saying? That shit is gold.
No, I literally think if you made 20K a year, you could support yourself off that. I think you could make it
You
work.
can definitely
30,
make your own business grow for sure. Hell yeah.
100%.
If you start.
But I see what you're saying though. It's 100%. Like you could
legitimately. But in the long term, I'm saying like like that's like your career. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make 80K to whatever. Even if you can make 300K a year, that's like a doctor.
Amazing.
Salary right there, bro. Like,
do you have goals like that though? Do you set any monetary goals like that, or like life goals in terms of like I'd love to be a full-time artist?
Yeah, that's definitely the goal, to be like, as far as any extensions from that will come. I want to make clothing brands. I want to sell shit. I want to throw events. I want to do. There's mad shit that I can make a list of shit I want to do, and I am planning to do as long-term goals once like the music opens those gates. But right now it's just small goals till you hit the big goal. You make small goals for yourself that you can actually accomplish at a time. And it's crazy because in the beginning of like 2021 or something, like I was setting like goals that were like unimaginable, almost. Like I was saying like, oh yeah, get like 3K monthly listeners in just this year. And I'm just like, I even talked to Diggy about that. He was like, I would set it lower. And I was like, really? Like, and not in a way where I felt disrespected or anything. It's just like, don't you think I should set it higher so that I could really just push myself to do it? He'd be like, nah, set it to a number you think you could definitely hit. Yeah. And when you hit that, you will feel that accomplishment, and then the rest, will keep going. Like, so he was like, go to 500. What's wrong with, like, there's nothing wrong with that. And he he's just always like dropping gems and opening your mind to the other possibilities. And he's even dropped that gem too, definitely once in his podcast. But even then, I don't even want to be on the camera like that, man. Like all the time, like the viral shit. It's cool, yeah. Like get your song popping, get it played in a party, yeah, for sure. All that in a club, TikTok dances, whatever. But it's cool. But like, I just want to live my life, bro. I just want to have a good life, where you learn, where you keep growing with people that you love.
Music seems to be providing enough value to you personally that like it is I'm with you, dude. Like if I don't have an outlet, like I truly like, dude, I feel that a lot has changed for me since I went from making a good amount of music to just not making music, but all the things in my life became an outlet. Mm-hmm. So I didn't actually really need to go to music as an outlet because the things in my life were becoming an outlet for me. So they served a similar function. They'll never be the same thing as what expressing myself on a song will be. Mm-hmm. But for sure, like, as you go through life too, you realize there are other things that are going to kind of, like, that's, like, my life changed and then it changed my commitment because I changed my priorities.
Yeah, when my life changed, for sure, like, and that happened during that COVID period, for sure, during that leave of absence from school, everything. Like, I feel that's that point, that was that catalyst for how I changed and rearranged my priorities. I used to live with my parents and everything, and it wasn't always, like, working the best at the time. And, now I live alone. Like, I just try to pay my own rent. I pay all my bills, like, everything. And I try to, like, prioritize the important things, like, about how I'm going to get myself to a better standpoint, or like get to a stepstone where I can financially do this for myself. I can financially, stop working here. I can, like, all these things will open new possibilities. And well, like I said, with the team, that shit, you, like, I'm not gonna say you can't do it alone, but with the team, like, anything's possible. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we're both the same age, man.
Yeah. How old are you?
24.
Oh yeah, so we're the same age. Yeah, word, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got the beard, so you would think maybe a little bit. People be shooting higher.
You see that?
They be shooting higher.
You see that?
Hey, what up?
I don't know, man. A lot of
Video
y'all need
version
to get
for people just listening to audio.
a lot of y'all need to get your shit up for real. Because I've been seeing some of them patchy ass beards. It's not working, bro. It's not working.
That ain't it, dude. Yeah, that I think the thing with the beard is like I don't think that people try. I think people give up. I just think that people don't want to go through awkward stages of their beard, so then they give up. And I would say, yeah, get that patchy ass bullshit out of here. But also, if you gotta go patchy, it is what
listen,
it is.
man. I had to go through it. Like, obviously, if you're growing it out, you go through the phases. But I was young when I was going through that patchy phase, so it was cool. I was just in like high school and shit.
15, son.
Oh.
Look, not this whole thing, but
I was about
the
to
beard.
say, yeah, I was growing like the facial hair.
Like I never stopped, is what I'm saying. I've never shaved it off.
Oh, okay.
I've always had it in some form. Like I had it real, like.
So when I was like 16, I was growing out a little bit.
I actually saw a picture of you that
I had to go.
When you had short hair too.
Yeah, I had short hair. I started the hair.
My man was looking like. Well, I don't know what you were looking like. I can't even throw nothing down for that, dude. You was looking like, dude, your own. No, that looked like me, bro. With the I remember my beard like came down, and then, dude, it was like
preseason glow up. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was like squares, bro. It was like squares.
Yeah, it was like for me.
The patches were like almost like geometrical.
You was getting like it was like you could like, box braid your shit.
Like it was like long over here, and then halfway through the middle was just a desert, man. Nothing grew, but
I had like the illest patches like in between here and shit. But I just kept doing what I was doing, and it finally grew up.
But that's what I'm saying, man. I just don't think people have the dedication.
Yeah, hey man, I was staying in the crib too, so I didn't give a shit. Like I don't give a fuck who saw me. Like
dude, I just let it grow, man.
Yeah, I just let it grow.
I think so many more people. I might be crazy, but I think that so many more people can grow full, like true beards that think that they can't. They just have to wait longer. Yeah. For it to grow.
Yeah.
I think eventually it'll grow. If you waited 10 years, it might take that long.
Shit. It
didn't for me, but this is like...
How long? Full growth. Like.
Well, I've been doing this for a year. Growing it out for a year. Okay. Not really shaving.
Yeah, I haven't touched the length in like about a year or so too.
Yeah. Okay. I did a no shave last October, I had it still down to...
I've never like
a 1.
I've never like trimmed it or like lately I haven't even been like touching it to be honest, but like I always line my shit up, you feel me?
How often do you go to the barber?
I try to every like 2 weeks.
That's a little much, man. That's a lot of
Nah. I get sometimes I'll push it to the 3rd week, but like my hair grows back fast though, respectfully. Mm-hmm. And like it just gets really, really thick at the same like my hair is really thick, so once this shit grows out, it gets like very like toughy and shit like that. So it's just better to grow.
I just let it go, man. I let it go, but I'll go like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that.
I mean, bro, I work at jobs and shit. I gotta groom, things like I gotta be looking like. You know what I'm saying? I can't be looking like a pharaoh.
I work for myself.
A wildebeest. Yeah. Respectfully, you got that. When I come to that point,
I do have a job as well, I will say, but
yeah. I mean, like,
that's important. They said basically my requirements are it just has to look like clean.
It can be gotta look groomed and shit. Yeah, but like even then, like when this shit grows out, like I feel like it don't look like I just gotta. I have that urge to just have to get the cut, man. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get you. It gets to a point. I push it, dude. I will say I do push it.
I think the longest I pushed without getting a haircut was probably like a month and a week.
Okay,
I couldn't go further.
Mine's when I was like
it just gets harder to maintain like all this too, like when my hair is too I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, we had a couple barbers on. It's interesting to talk to them about that industry. Yeah, man, because they're cutting people's hair all day.
I mean, I could imagine their life, man. It's just, they think they're in their head all day probably.
Unless the people are talking to you.
I'll be talking to my body. Hey man, the barbershop's like a therapy session for me. For real. Sometimes we talk about life. Sometimes we talk about like the news and the bullshit going on in the world, like, or we just talk about or just barbershop gossip and everyone's laughing at shit. Like
my homies were getting caught up in fantasy football, dude, and I don't follow it at all. So I was just like, this is beat.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys talk about something I care about?
They putting the movies on shit too, so I be going to like like a old fashioned like style like New York kind of barbershop, man. It's like a black barbershop. Everyone in there just be roasting each other the whole time.
Yeah, dude, that's the best.
Yo,
it's funny shit.
It's me, B.
B, what up?
I have something to say for conversation right here.
Jump
Tarek,
in.
you got to tell them about the time where you were in the barber shop and that thing happened. You didn't know they were filming and all that.
Oh, you know the show? I think it's ABC. What would you do? ABC Families. What would you do?
My friend worked on that show. He was one of the actors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that I used to watch him on TV. Yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's actually really dope.
Yeah, but John Quinones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
I don't know. John
never
Quinones.
watched that shit in my entire life before this day, bro. I was in my barbershop, bro. Like I said, I get a haircut like every 2 weeks, bro. And I was in my barbershop. And it was a morning appointment that I actually forgot I even booked. So I woke up. I had my alarm set, thank God. But the night before I went out, did my thing. We got fucked up. And I was like hungover the next day. And I'm like, fuck. I woke up to my alarm. I was like, fuck, I forgot I got this haircut. I was looking dusty as a bitch. I get to that spot. And it's my barbershop, usual barbershop every 2 weeks. I know everything about that store. I know where the ATM is. I know where I know exactly where the painting hangs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know every little square inch of that shit. Bro. I'm in there, and the first thing I realized when I walked, I didn't have cash, by the way. So I had to get cash, and I'm like, yo, where the fuck the ATM at? It's not in the same corner. It's always in. I'm like, yo. I turn around. I'm like, yo, where's the ATM? He's like, yo, we put it over there today. I was like, all right, word. So I get my money out. There's no music on in the barbershop. I'm like, yo, this is mad weird. Because they're always playing, like, hip-hop. Or my barber, Dave, who ran the store, bro, always had fucking... It wasn't his store at the time. It was a store he worked at before. He always had like some kind of like Biggie or something playing in that shit. And bro, I'm like, yo, now it's a weird vibe. Like no music is playing. And there's this dude sitting next to me who I actually realized was in on it. Like he knew the whole shit was going down too. I don't think he was an actor, but I think he was just somebody getting a haircut and he saw the first run. Like I guess they were all there all day doing runs on different people. And he was there before the run ended, and he knew exactly what was going on. So he kind of like played the part. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was like that. But like, bro, I'm sitting in the chair now, and there's a barber next to my barber, and I've never seen his face before. I go here every 2 weeks. I've never seen. I'm like, yo, he must be new. They must have just hired him like yesterday, and he's not even cutting anyone's hair. That's the funniest part. Like there was no way. That's actually the funniest part. There was nobody in his chair. And then a kid gets on the chair, and it's this kid it's this kid on a wrestling team, and he has braids. And his wrestling coach is who brought him to get the haircut.
You saw all this,
bro. So this is literally like I'm getting punked right now, basically. Like that was me getting punked right now on ABC's What Would You Do? And all this shit is going down in front of me. He's like, yo, you gotta. The dude gets on the seat, and he's like, yo, what do you want? And the kid just like, I just want to get the sides cut. And the coach is like, no, he has to cut his braids off. And the kid's like, I don't want to cut my braids off. And he was like, no, you're going to cut your braids off to be on my team and shit like that. And then he starts like talking crazy. It gets like more intense, like the things he's saying. And then like, you know, he's talking loud and I'm chiming in. Like, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is going on now? Like, and I'm like, yo, you don't got to cut your braids off, bro, just because he's telling you, you know? And he's just like starting to cry, and he's like, you want to call your mom? I'm gonna call your mom right now and tell her, like, you know, that we're cutting your braids. She said it's not a problem, right? And he's like, I want to call my mom, and all this shit's happening. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And this kid's just, I'm like, yo, now he's saying like some borderline, like, okay, this is kind of racist shit. Like he's like, oh, you're not gonna have no rapper haircut or shit like that. And like I'm cursing him out. I'm like, yo, don't cut your hair, bro. Like that's not even your fucking dad, bro. Like it's like a white bald man telling you to cut your ethnic hair. Like, yo, like what are you doing? And it just got hot, and then like the dude almost the barber was like, all right, I don't even know. Like, and he walked away. The barber just walks away, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? And then the coach walks up with the scissors, and he's about to cut the kid's hair. And I'm looking at my barber, Dave. I'm like, yo, Dave, you just gonna let this shit happen? Like, this is your barbershop. Like, what are you doing, bro? And, bro, we all started getting loud at one point, and then all these cameras start, all these dudes with these cameras. I'm like, whoa, what is going on, bro? And yeah, bro, like that's when I realized, I was like, oh, I just got punked like a bitch right now. Like none of this shit is real. And I just acted like a fool probably in front of that camera cursing this dude out. which I'm pretty sure they didn't put all those scenes in because I was cursing like a bitch in that shop. Like.
Did you end up being in it though?
Yeah. They had like a couple of scenes of me like being calm at first, but they had that dude next to me playing the part. You know what I'm saying? Like talking, and then they came out at the end and everything too. And John Canone is sitting right in my face with that mic. He's sitting right in my face with that motherfucking mic. Mind you, I'm looking dusty. This is a pre-haircut. That's what's the worst part. That's what I'm mad about. Pre-haircut. Like not post. They didn't get me post haircut, yo.
Hey, Quinones, give me 10, dude. I gotta get this cut.
What I'm saying, bro. So yeah, bro. And he's asking us. He's like, oh yeah, so what is a message like you would give? And I told him, I was like, yo, like, always stay true to yourself, be real to yourself. Me talking my shit on some like Riley Freeman shit, like, yeah, stay to yourself, like. And I'm just like, and he's like, wow, that's a powerful message. And I'm like, yeah, they didn't even put that scene in the motherfucking and
Quinones doesn't pick.
Yeah, bro, but I wasn't even mad, bro. So I get in the chair after, and my barber's like, yeah, bro, you didn't even know you was acting like a gangster on that show. I was like, yo, chill. And he's just like, yeah, and that's when I found out the kid next to me, he was like, yeah, he was bullshitting the whole time. I was like, yo, that's really funny.
They got you like that.
Yeah, bro, I got like, and that episode got put, and to this day, that episode gets like brought up to me. And the most like, it's crazy because TikTok came out after that.
Yep.
And it went viral again on TikTok. And people started seeing it on TikTok and sending it to me. It's like, yo, did you know you were? Of course I knew I was on.
I was there.
Of course. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, this shit's all coming back again. I was like, shit, bro. Like, where's my money? Like, who's paying me? Like,
did you have to sign anything?
Yo, I'm thinking about it. I don't think I signed shit at the end of the day.
Guess who's getting some money? ABC's paying you out, boy. They aired that shit. You get like a 0.5%.
I'm gonna have to get a lawyer. I'll come back to you on that. I'll get a lawyer.
As your unofficial lawyer, I'd like to.
Yo, mind you, this was I probably signed some shit. I was hungover as fuck, bro. Like honestly, I'm thinking about it now.
Imagine smoking like a big L going in.
I definitely took a nice bong rip.
Couple hits,
a nice bong rip before.
Yeah, I mean, you going to the barber, dude. You gotta lay back a little bit.
He be telling me, like, he'd be like, "You just smoke?" I'd be like, "Yeah." Like it just cools me off. Like,
yeah, I gotta go.
And I'm hungover. Yeah,
feels good.
Like, I'm just a bong rip for sure. Like.
Damn, that's crazy. You never know what you're gonna walk into in life and what situation.
Bro, after that, like, it's not even like a traumatic thing like that. I can, like, it's just like I'll be like walking into places. I'll be like, all right, like, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my toes now. Like, you're not getting me.
I went to Stockton and I was out. They have these like areas where you just, they're like concrete benches almost. So I'm chilling on one of the benches. I'm taking a call. And this guy runs up, sits on one of the benches next to me, and has the big bottle of Tito's. Yeah. And goes, yo, do you want some? And I'm like, no, I'm good, dude. Like, I'm on a call right now. And he was like, he didn't say anything. So I continue my call. Okay, this guy obviously gets it. And he goes, yo, you want some? I'm like, dude, I'm on a call.
He's pushing you.
And he doesn't say it. He just keeps
sitting next to you.
Sitting next to me, then he keeps going. And I go...
He starts chugging it?
He's chugging it the whole time.
Oh, yes. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's chugging it the whole time. And so I get up because I have to... this is like kind of a serious call. They're not like, this is like a call. Like, I booked a call with somebody, yeah. So I don't want to waste their time, so I'm starting to walk away. My guy starts following me, dude. And I go, yo, I'm on this call and I have to tell this lady, there's somebody following me with a bottle of vodka right now. Bottle of Tito's trying to get me to take a shot. She's like, why don't you take a shot?
She said that to you?
I think she was cool about it. She was like, that's kind of weird, but like, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm in college. I'm literally at college, so it doesn't make
hilarious.
It doesn't make so much. It's not. It kind of makes sense. I mean, and then he goes,
it's the camera, right?
Points right at the camera. Yeah, it's the guy holding the fucking camera, dude.
Wow.
So that was the only time anything like that happened to me. Yeah, this was before TikTok was like really popular. Like TikTok was going for sure.
Some YouTube prank shit.
It's probably ended up on TikTok too, I think. But yeah, definitely.
Better go get your money.
YouTube.
No,
yeah, man, I'll take it, bro. I mean, dude, I got so much shit on the internet, man, dude. I mean, but it's all from me mostly because it's my podcast. But
nah, I heard you.
I've been on a lot of podcasts though. For sure, but yeah, that was funny. I wish I would have ended up I guess the video wasn't that good. I'm a pretty hardcore YouTube guy. I mean, I never found it, but
Back then.
man, honestly, I never looked. Yo, brother B, if you have a second, dude, if you go on Google, type in like
Following people with vodka prank.
yeah, trying to get people to take shots at college or some shit.
Okay, it's on YouTube or
Who knows? But I've never seen it.
Yeah,
But see if
you're
you could-
basically the guy on the
Trying
desk.
to-
Right now.
yeah, if you could find a video,
surf the web, my boy.
yeah, of all I know is that they were trying to get people to take shots of Tito's or something and like interrupting them. So I
You ever
don't know.
see the videos?
Maybe it never went out. We don't know.
let me see.
It's like the
Looking
people
into it.
carrying the Tito's bottles and like, or like they'll carry $5 or something. And they'll be like, "Hey, would you like to take this bottle or pass it on and double it to the next person?" Like, you ever see those?
No.
Bro. So somebody did it with a Tito's bottle, and they're like, "Yo, do you want this bottle or do you want to pass it on and double it to the next person?" He's like, "Yeah." So the next person got 2. They were like, "Oh, I'll double that shit." Next person, they kept coming out with these bottles, but I was like, "What the fuck?" Like 4 bottles, and he's like, "Yeah, double it." 4 times, he's like 16 now, and the dude's like, "Double it." He's like 32 bottles. Like, I'm taking that shit home. I was like, "Damn." Like,
Yeah, if you get to the end of the line,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
making
Like,
out.
what would you do if they came with you at like 4 bottles or 2 bottles? Would you have taken them?
So they're saying, do you want these bottles for yourself, or do you want the
double
next
it for
person
the
to
next
get double
person?
bottles?
So if they came up to you with 4, the next person is getting 8.
I don't know. Yeah, I probably would. I probably would have stopped at 2. I don't drink that much. This shit would last me a minute.
Hey, man.
Nah, I'd probably send it to the next one because in
could
case
flip that
case
shit.
there's an alcoholic in there, I'll save them a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? I'll save them some effort.
Yeah,
true.
boys. So I can't find Bob's video, but Tarek, do you think that barbershop video is that anywhere online? Do you know where?
That shit is definitely online.
Yeah, what was that show called?
What would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do? Do you know what the episode was called? Just barbershop or?
Barbershop wrestler.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Braids, wrestler. If you Google what would you do? Wrestler, braids, barbershop, something will come up.
Keywords.
Thanks for the help.
Brother B in the producer seat today, rocking and rolling, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm not Tret, but I'm trying.
Dude, no, you're killing it, man. It's an art form. It's everybody's got their own way. For real, it's a tough job though.
Nah, bro.
Gotta listen to
Shuts
us
out.
shoot this shit.
It's always the people behind the scenes of like, the faces that make it up. Those are the people.
It's like producers.
Yeah, exactly. The producers.
I could sit
the
on this
engineers.
podcast for the next 10 years and say producers are underrated, underrepresented, and it'll just be true because they're so underrated.
No doubt.
Because there's nothing without them.
No, you're right. Like they are the
there's
backbone.
acapella, but that's what are you gonna do?
Like I said, you need the face and the lyrics on the beat, but at the end of the day, nobody's talking about how the beat got them drops or the beat got the vocal effects and stuff like that on the lyrics. Whatever. It's all behind the scenes people that don't get that credit.
Well, and I didn't realize too. There's
The videographers. Shouts out to Rory.
Well, that's
Exeter Films.
Whole nother art form.
Going
Shout
up.
out to you, B. Exeter for making it happen. But there's the recording engineer, tracking engineer, mixing engineer, mastering engineer. Like, there's so many different. That's not even all of them. There's just so many different jobs when it comes to music, and as an independent, you're doing it all yourself, son. I mean, for the most part, you might get a couple things outsourced, but I just like to get my songs mastered.
Most of my beats are outsourced. I will say.
I just have one producer personally.
I have
For the most part. One or two.
a few
But
that
my
I
main
tap
guy.
in with, but like those are all people that I found that work with me, best. But there are other producers that not even necessarily work with, but I'm with them like when they're creating or helping them create or whatever, or just freestyling on their beats. Like Burke, I have a few songs, like only a couple songs out with Burke, but he's not my like main producer, and that's changed nothing about our relationship or anything. Absolutely, like I still rap on his beats, like we still chill on a weekly basis or whatever, like work together, whatever, play Apex, and it just comes down to your sound. Everyone respects that when it comes to the artist industry or like the music industry. Not everybody can hop on everyone's beat. And there's those people that want to or can try or can successfully do it. But, there's nothing wrong with not. You know what I mean?
Do you manage yourself too?
I mean,
Like, you don't have a manager? I don't have one either.
no. In terms, I manage myself.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to look around. I want to see if one will pop up in my life. Because I don't want to do that part of it.
It just comes down to, I guess what it is I don't necessarily know what I need from a manager necessarily yet. Because, like, I know I feel like it's too easy to ask for the things that you want and think that a manager could do. Like, there's a misconception about what a manager is or what a manager can do. It's like if an artist, people are misconceived when they see that an artist has a manager. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's popping, or he's viral or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I want somebody to work on my behalf. Like, I don't have time to do, like, I'll just do the music, but that's all I have time for.
Exactly.
So a manager would just do all the other stuff for me. But if you could do that stuff yourself, then go ahead.
Things I would actually outsource for are probably like somebody that can market for me, like things like that. Rather than. Because, the marketing takes a lot of time in itself, and the music itself already takes a lot of time. But it is the easiest part. Making the music is the easiest part. But, it takes a lot of time. And the marketing aspect is just too much sometimes, I feel like, for what I do in my life to, like, maintain it. So I feel like sometimes, like, when it comes to things I need to outsource, that's the biggest one that stands out.
Is there anybody that you've really, like, any artists in particular who you've really, like, looked up to in terms of, like, how they market or how they grow? Like, is there, I figure most of them you've kind of been with for, like, the artists that your hardcore, top 5 or whatever, have been your top 5 for probably a while. But is there anybody in, like, the modern times that you think, like, you look like, I really fuck with how they're doing that shit? Because I got a couple that are, like, kind of indie guys where they have a bigger following, but they're not mainstream, because I respect that.
Man, I like just seeing that creativity come out. I can't necessarily say who I like. Somebody that's been standing out recently, and he's from New Jersey, Chris Patrick. He's been definitely standing out as far as his marketing tactics. I think, like, the one thing I've learned to do with your songs, or like songs off of a project, is like to really like make them come to life, or like actually find a way to make them breathe. And that's like you're talking about doing the Tiny Desk podcast and those type of styles of live auditions, things like that. Like those like bring out the creativity within the song that you wrote, like in your room or wherever you wrote it, but like it just brings out like all that creativity in like an open space with other people, like just what I'm saying, like so when you, or if you're in like some kind of different kind of studio, like performing it live, like all these things that you can do are perfect ways to market your own song. That's where it comes to like when people ask how do I self promote, those are the ways that you want to look into doing. Like you want to be able to have your music videos. That's a great way to keep promoting, that's like visual like context for people, or do that live that vertical freestyle that you want to post on Instagram. Do that live performance that you and your friends could put together in like a garage and videotape. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like these things like all resonate with people. Like a lot of people, like especially artists, like there's so many people that are artists now, they see that shit and it's just like all like that's what makes people gravitate towards it.
Yeah, finding different ways for people to access your music. Yeah, and you might, because you're gonna catch them, because it really is marketing, because nobody's gonna. You probably might have heard this, but you need like 7 touch points for somebody to finally take an action, right?
Yeah,
like they have to see like as so many of what you do for them to finally.
That
take
shit has to be
action.
like you basically gotta like not force them, but like that shit's gotta be in their face so much that like. There's no way.
And you said to like kind of let it breathe. Like that's kind of what it is. Like you're giving it air. Like you're pumping it up. You're kind of letting it breathe on its own. It being its own thing. And I think as we've done in the past, and the tragic flaw of most artists is that they spend all their time making the thing and not enough time to actually promote it, which is the most important piece. It doesn't really matter how good your shit is, but like there will be people who like it. Even if it's terrible, like there will be a few people, right?
Yeah, you always find that,
and you got to find them, or you don't have to find. Like, well, yeah, you have to make it possible for them to find you, And that's where we get caught up is we'll make like one, which we used to do, right? Make like one post about a song and expect that to do something.
No, never that.
There is a way to make one post only to promote your shit, but it's not going to be that way. It's like then that post has to literally have as much energy as your 12 posts. Like it has to be the craziest planned
like
out
video that somebody will
beautifully
remember forever, something like that.
Exactly, yeah. And then you might be one of those artists who is like that song Cheerleader that they worked on for like 4.5 years or whatever that like was pretty mediocre, but it popped. And it's like, okay, is this what we're shooting for here? Or, but yeah, man, I don't know. I love the indie, like I'm like a Beast Coast guy, like Pro Era and all that, dude. Like that's how I came up, man. Yeah. And a lot of those guys still are, as much as they might, a lot of them are, I guess you could still consider like them independent, right? I mean, is Flatbush has their own label?
Yeah, they're
Pro Era is their own label.
Yep.
Bronson is his own thing, I think. So that's what I look up to, bro. Like I don't look up to like even. Hey,
they all found their own little like extra like side quest.
Top Dog is dope, dude. CDE is dope. Like but I love what Cole did with Dreamville. Like I love that as a
you're right.
Like I like artist created labels.
No, you're right, exactly.
But I love when they're working for themselves. Like I just think that's badass that you can get on the top. You can be the top of the game.
You just like I said, like they all had to make it. They all used getting lit in music as the stepstone to opening those gates to different opportunities for themselves. Like, so that's what I definitely have like my own long-term goals for. Like, okay, now my music is getting to that point, it's popping. Like, I definitely have a clothing brand that I'm working on right now. Like, I'm trying to get out there. It's like and not even like a clothing brand. I would say more. It's like a lifestyle for me. Like lifestyle wear, because it's
so that's
it's more. It's more than just like the piece of clothing. It's about a message. It's what I always rep, that SFE in my name. That stands for stay safe forever. Like anytime me and my boys, we say what's up to each other or we peace out, after a long night, whatever, we always dap each other up and we say stay safe. And that shit don't just mean like those two words. Like it means a lot more behind those two words. Like we really mean that shit, man. Like stay safe. Like I hope you get home safe. I hope nothing happened in your sleep. I hope you wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like all that good shit. Like, and it's just like, out of love. And that really came from like just say forever really came from a lot. And like, it just means a lot to me. It came from like me talking about exactly like what I was saying earlier, about transactional relationships where like people that you meet are more about like giving and getting rather than just, fucking with you for real. And Say Forever came like about, I guess, through people that really weren't like that. And it was like at a point in my life I was like, wow, like I'm meeting people that are like genuine. Like, and you still find the like to this day, like you always find them, but once you find those like people, it's like those are the ones like you keep close. So Say Forever is like stay safe, bro. Like you're always saying that shit, like, and it means for anyone, like for family, friends, your mother, your father, your grandma. So like that,
it's about the circle.
It's well. So like I want to push that, obviously through the clothes, but like when people wear that, it's like shit. It's like a protective force right there. Like for me,
could you see yourself just doing like your own merch with that incorporated into it?
Oh hell yeah! Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily. Like maybe
that's
like
how it might start.
A little artist collab with it, maybe like for Wrek collab with it or some shit. Mm-hmm. But like it wouldn't necessarily be like linked to like my artist image, but it would just be the like a it's me doing my thing. I
like the sentiment, man, because I like how you also apply it to people, because I think that's in my life that's very important. I don't fuck around with time, so I just think time's really valuable. So I don't I can't, being that I value my own time to the extent that I value it, I can't be taking chances with
right now it's like no new friends type shit,
yeah and I always say I got more than enough friends, and people trying to hey listen, new friends are gonna come for sure, when you need them, but there's no
we young,
exactly we're definitely and sometimes we have to remember that, and have that perspective
for sure.
We're gonna watch this at 34 and be like, holy shit.
For real. That's only like 10 years from now.
It's a legacy of the
not even
podcast,
long,
man.
yeah.
It's a little time capsule. It captures us
real.
time. This is dope right now. I really
sign the
love
wall
it.
right here.
But like for real, bro. Actually, I should do. That's actually a really good idea. We're gonna probably paint this place anyway. So.
Facts. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'd hate to paint over it.
Yo, guys, so super late, but I did find the barber clip if you're still interested.
Let's go, dude.
All right, let's see what we can do.
And B,
here.
when you get it up on the screen and hit
Yeah.
play, you can turn that screen to us as well.
All right, perfect.
Like you can physically move it.
All right, cool. At the moment, we're just getting a black screen behind. Do I have to drag the window over? Something like that. A little technical difficulties here. It's me, B. Messing things up, as you know.
Brother B. Oh no, dude. It should just the Chrome window's open over there.
Yeah, Chrome window's open. But I'm hitting the guy that we normally do. I'm just getting the black screen behind the.
All right, don't worry about it then.
No problem. We'll just let it rock. But
Let it rock, dude.
yeah. But you guys can find that. It's titled "Coach Forces Wrestler to Cut His Hair. What Would You Do?" So, about 5 minutes and 30 seconds in for our viewers. If you want to see Tarek in that video, he is standing up for that wrestler. So check that out.
Dude, that is amazing, bro. I'm gonna overlay this video right now in post as well for the video people and the audio. Actually, you can hear the audio too. Dude, that's amazing.
That's funny shit.
Dude,
Yeah, bro.
you never know what you're gonna come across, man.
You know what's the funniest part about that shit? Like, when that shit happened, all my boys were like, yo, bro, push your shit on that, push your music. So I was in them comments on that YouTube, like the original ABC Family shit. I was like, yo, you like, hear my music links and shit like this. Put my music links up there, bro.
That's what I did with Gary V, dude, when I met Gary V.
Oh, you met him? That's dope.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. Nice guy. I talked to his dad for a while. His dad's really a solid dude, too. My neighbor is his dad's landscaper, so I had a connection.
That's fire.
So I name dropped, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And then we like kind of started talking. Nah, Gary's cool, man. I met him in like whatever November of 2019.
You met him in New Jersey?
Met him in New Jersey.
Word.
So my friend was on his texting list, the wine text list,
Okay.
and he said, "Hey, I'm doing a meet and greet at their liquor store in Jersey." So we're like
Gary's Marketplace or shit?
it's Wine Library.
Oh, okay.
It's his dad's. It's a liquor store that he built with his dad.
Word.
And they're doing a meet and greet. My friend was on the list. He knows that he knew I was a fan of him back then. So he's like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" I'm like, "Let's go." So we wait in line. Where like we decide like, all right, this is where probably the line's gonna be. Then we were right, so we ended up being closer to the front. And then I meet him, and then his like right hand dude was like, "No, you gotta wait in line again if you want to ask him a question. Like, just take a picture." Or wait in line again. So I'm like, I'm here, so I'm waiting in line again. So I'm waiting in line again. Then I get up there, I asked him the question. You know, we dap up. He's like, all right, cool. And then months later, I'm just sitting in my class, and it was business management or something. And my phone starts blowing up. I'm like, all right, what's going on? So I get on IG, and people are sending me the video. And his team posted the video that they took of me asking him that question. So first day I had 500,000 views, and so I replied to every comment on the post, and I got like another 500 followers that day off that.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, but it's like you said, dude, comment marketing is that's how you get.
It was Gary V actually that taught me. It was like the put your 2 cents in every day type shit. So every time you on Instagram, if you put in like on 100 posts, you put your 2 cents in, meaning your 2 comments on it or something like that. You will find that it'll bring more traction to your page or whatever 100%. The content you're trying to push.
I don't think Gary remembers me from that video, but since I'm on LinkedIn every day, I have built my business partially just off of commenting on his posts. That's it. Like, that's probably like a good percentage of my audience is from
all power to you, bro. You capitalize.
I'm literally just taking his advice,
bro. That's like, you door-to-door sales that shit,
dude.
like,
for real, man.
As you should, bro.
Yeah, it comes back to what we're saying, man. There's just fundamentals here.
It's so many ways you could market yourself rather like other than like paying for it, if that's what other people aren't looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially now.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can do it for real, and you just gotta figure it out.
In terms of figuring it out and continuing to, move forward in this kind of journey of music, and like you said, you've been doing it for almost a decade now. Where do you have, like, I agree with you that I do the same thing. I don't shoot for like a huge crazy goal that's really far away. I just do the incremental things and hit them like stepping stones. Do you have kind of a vision for where you want this to go, or you really just leaving it as like, this is the cathartic thing for me, I know where I'm at, I know that I'm good, I'm cool where I'm at, like I want to let my life, like you said, you don't want to sacrifice you're actually experiencing your life. Neither do I, man. That's partially why I don't do this all full time. I have a business full time, but I really want to be diverse in what I do. So is there a like much farther away kind of vision for it?
I mean, nah, I plan to do this shit for like, I don't know, as of right now I'm gonna say for the rest of my life, but I'm definitely like trying to put a little more of that grind, like to get it to happen sooner than later. Whether that means perform more or whatever, I'm definitely gonna be out there. I'm definitely trying to get up by like after that 2023 mark, man. I'm just trying to push through. So like I said, I feel like life right now, like I've been experiencing it and I'll continue to experience it, and at the end of the day it's just gonna keep driving what I do. So whether it happens now, tomorrow, next year, 2 years, it's like I know it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Got that faith
for sure.
God, it's a matter of faith.
Nah, for real.
Are you faithful yourself in terms of?
Nah, yeah, 100%. And you know what's crazy? Not only am I like faithful in myself, but I'm faithful in the people around me as well. So the people that are, the videographer, the producers, that we're all linked in, bro. Like we're doing this shit together. So like I'm never alone in this shit. And that's like always comforting, but like I am alone in this shit, so like I'm always grinding, like I'm never getting too comfortable. But at the same time, when I see other people win, that's just like extrinsically motivates me. I'm intrinsically inspired to keep doing this shit. When I see all of us going up, bro, just like I can't be the one falling behind. So it's just like I'm gonna keep moving.
Seems like you take benefit, or you benefit from the competitive kind of side of it as well, like the friendly competition.
Yeah, I guess not even like I guess you could call it friendly competition, but it's really just like I guess so. Yeah. It's just we drive each other for sure, like to keep going, to work harder, to put that extra hour in.
The people that I started with are not the people that I'm doing it with now. And I always wish that the people that I started with kept, like they did in some capacities and not others, but that we stayed. But now the fact that I've found my kind of group for that, I have a group of artists. I'll talk to them tomorrow morning. We talk every Tuesday morning, four of us. And, that, just having that, like, dude, I didn't think I even need it. I'm like, whatever, that's a waste of my time or whatever. Like, you are so right. In having the right people, you have to be doing the right thing. Yeah, but if you're doing the right thing without the right people, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. If you have the right people but not the right thing, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. You need the components the pieces to come together. And then for you, once that team piece with the art piece and the skill, and then the marketing comes and the management, and it ends up now kind of building an entity, that's really what you're alluding to as well. Like, it's going to come together. I mean, for all of us, man.
Nah, respectfully. Like, just keep grinding. As long as you keep doing what you're doing, as long as you, put those 10,000 hours in, keep doing what you're doing, grind, do this shit, with your whole heart, and stay true to yourself. It's gonna come eventually. Just like anything, like if you really think about it, and it's just it's a very practical way to think, respectfully. Like, you go to school, you go to college for say you are somebody who wants to be a doctor. You go to school, you go to college, and then you go to med school. That's what, like 20 years of your life you just spent right there, 25, just to become that doctor that's getting paid like 200, whatever, 300K a year, maybe by 30s, bro. Like, in a very practical sense, you know, you're putting your bro, if you think this shit's gonna, you know, yeah, there's people going viral, blowing up, yeah, it's whatever, it's once in a, but the people that are making it that you probably love right now that you're listening to every day are the people that have albums and albums out, material since like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like in a very practical way, like that shit is how it's supposed to work. You have to grind, you have to do, like, just like going to school and taking all them tests, like you gotta put that work
I think
in.
the 10,000 hours thing is completely true.
Yeah, exactly. So why would it not make sense?
Yeah, to keep it, and never take investing advice from a doctor. That's what I mean.
Yeah, nah,
that's what
sure.
they say.
Yeah, for real. So, bro, you know, you just gotta always go, and that way it'll always be a roller coaster. But you know,
one thing that people can't deny is work. They can't deny. They could deny. Oh, you showed up late. Okay. Oh, you only finished half this project. Okay. Like, or this song is bad. Okay. But those are all kind of based on taste and opinion. Like, you can't deny just straight work ethic, and that's the one thing that I think
for sure
that can set you apart if you have no skills at all. You know, it's like we're both talented. Brandon, we're all talented. Many people listening to this podcast talented, but the same way that your artistry is going to come together with management and marketing and everything, and then it's going to start to become a thing. It's the same thing for anything. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just have one piece, man. Like, talent, right. Especially now, it's definitely not talent. It's talent, and then how good of a TikTok can you make with the talent?
Yeah.
You know, for sure. At least this landscape.
No, you're right.
Part of the landscape.
It is very driven towards that, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to channel it correctly.
Yeah. But the hard work will always pay off. And that count, like, making those TikToks, like, making that consistent content every day on TikTok, like, that's hard work, you know?
Oh, man. People will look at a TikTok creator, somebody who does it full time, and be like, that looks easy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they make it look easy because they're good at it.
No, you're right. Exactly. Like,
anything would look easy.
Hard work. And the content they come up with, you know, all that.
Dude, and then you have 2 jobs, and you're a rapper trying to make it, and you don't even have time to do it. Like, these people are doing it full time. It's like we're all trying to get the same outcome, but we're not even full time. It's like they're full time and they might not even have 1 million followers yet, you know? And it's like, oh, we're trying to do it on the weekend. It's like, how much content can you produce, you know?
Right. It's like I said, it always comes back to just, you got to figure it out for yourself. However it works for yourself, like, you figure it out and then you roll with it.
Is there any piece of material that you would that has been transformative for you at all, like a book or something that you're a reader at all, or like well, you mentioned a couple podcasts, but I do audiobooks, so I always like to know if people have anything inspiring.
As far as reading material goes, I guess I just read things about the self, the mind. So I'm not reading things about like the businesses or like, you know, marketing, you know, like I wish I probably should be, but I read more things about, you know, learning about yourself or like
you're focused on self-improvement.
Yeah, growth. I have like this book about Sufism that I really like.
Sufism?
Yeah, it's like Islamic mysticism.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's like in like the very simplest form to explain it. It's basically how to experience what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to experience that connection with God that he had through like love. And that's also where I got like that comes from the whole like non-transactional thing. Like you just love, like, you know, even Christians can relate, like love thy brother, whatever, love thy neighbor. Like it just generally like loving the person, like with no transaction, like loving every person the same type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
regardless of who they are.
Loving everybody type shit. Just because it'll always, you know, we are connected as one. At the end of the day, we are God. God is one. One is all. All is one. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's just like that's how I like to believe.
Would you consider yourself religious or?
To an extent, yeah. Like I always turn back to Allah. You know, I always.
And what religion would you follow?
I'm Muslim, so
I've had one other Muslim on this podcast. So you're second.
Yeah.
My friend Samad Savage. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh, word? I know who that is for sure. His music is fire.
You gotta get him back on.
I had no idea he was Muslim.
Neither did I.
That's dope.
It's probably a similar thing until I got about an hour into the podcast, and then I.
Shouts out to
this
my
just
brother.
becomes uncovered, man. It just gets.
Shouts out, bro. Yeah, it's fire, man. You know, man. I ain't here to talk about religion or politics, but you know, Islam is definitely a very powerful religion. I think I didn't realize that for a long time, obviously growing up, but going through what I went through, I realized a lot of things for myself, and it helped me build my own like relationship with God. And
I think that's the ideal outcome too.
Yeah, Allah has helped me through a lot of the things that I go through. You know, I always end up turning to Allah, and you know, we were born sinners. We all make bad decisions, whatever. We all go through the motions, but at the end of the day, like, as long as you're not out here doing that terrible ass shit, you know, it's between you and God at the end of the day. It's not for anybody else. It's for you and him, or you and God.
The thing that I like the most is that you can be in a church, and I don't go to church, but you can be in a church full of people, and they will be all technically worshiping the same God, but in their mind, they all have a different version of what that God really is to them.
You're right. No,
and I think that's
it's subjective
I love that
as well. Yeah, man. It's everyone's gonna find their own comfort. You know, it's. I'm not one to force or try to change another person's mind, but I feel like everybody has signs in their life where, like, it's just undeniable. And it's just up to you whether you want to be ignorant to it or like you want to be, you know, accepting. Because there's just things in like life, especially for me, that have happened that like I could never explain, or like people you meet that you just feel like you just had to have met for a reason, or things like that. And I don't think that happens like for maybe on some spiritual like level for sure, but I don't know, man. It feels like chessboard pieces, like that shit was placed right there for you, you know?
There's so many moments probably in your life too when you're like, this seems so crazy that this just happened like this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it just
like it seems planned a little bit.
And that's another thing. If you also take your path, like, you know, you walk your road,
yep,
and you keep like you spend those years on being a rapper, a videographer, whatever, like you put 6 years in of work right now, and the only way you could have met somebody in that realm that you fuck with so much is because you stayed in it that long and because you worked that hard for, you know what I'm saying? Like, say you met Jay-Z or some shit. You could have only have met Jay-Z through how long you've been in that process yourself. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it's just so many practical ways of me to think about this shit that makes me comfortable with the sense of like, yeah, I'm gonna get this shit. I know this shit is gonna happen.
Yeah, and if it didn't happen yet, it actually is probably not supposed to.
You're right. There's a lesson to learn from it.
Yeah, like if you're not where you want to be, there is something that is not in the right place.
No, you're right. Yeah, or you're not ready for real. Like there's things you need to learn, or you know, if you went viral tomorrow, do you like not just you, but like, do you think you would know how to handle it?
Yeah,
for real. Like, because that's a lot of things. I feel like a lot of people go viral with one video and don't know how to take it from there. Like, you have to jump on that shit. I don't think I could even do it.
I would hope that I could, but yeah,
unless,
I could totally see
but I feel
actually,
like
it's happened to me before.
If that shit happens though, that's I feel like where opportunities like
happened to me 10 years
things
ago.
Like that. Oh wow, really?
2012.
What'd you do?
It wasn't viral.
I was gonna say.
But I just got a YouTube video with like a few 100,000 views or a couple 100,000 views, and I stopped.
That's like somewhat viral for back then, right?
For back then, it was good.
It's not like everybody was on their phones like viral now.
No, it was a 2K.
Viral now is like in the mills, you know.
100%. Yeah, no, you're right. It was a 2K video, and
like you mean like NBA?
Yeah, 2K13. I got the biggest 2K13 cheats video out there. 100%. This is what I did. I took the other cheat videos, and I just took what I knew.
Like cheat codes,
cheat codes, yeah, cheat codes, and shit? Like how to get more VC and stuff like that. I just took so the game came out.
Okay.
Then I got the game like the day after. Then these videos came out, like 2 or 3 of them had the cheats. Mm-hmm. Then the day after that, I made my video.
Okay.
And I combined what they said in their videos, and I added some bullshit that I came up with, and then I put it out. And I spent it took me the longest to edit it. Here's a testament to work. It was the longest video it was the hardest video I ever made. It took the longest to edit it. It took the longest to make the thumbnail, and it completely worked. I got 10,000 in a day. I got 100,000 in like 2 months, and then it just stopped eventually. Kind of gained. It's probably still my most.
Then they caught your ass. They were like, "Oh, he ban him right now."
Oh, dude, the comments were hilarious on that, dude. The comments. I mean, the video stayed up. I monetized.
Not I'm talking about your what were you, PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox,
yeah, Xbox account.
Oh no, dude,
they never caught.
Yeah, dude. It was like a name from the My Player was like a name from the Key and Peele video, like the football video. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. The university,
or whatever.
They were just making them bullshit ass.
It was
names.
one of the names from that, for sure. So like people were ripping me in the comments, like, dude, you freaking, your guy, your My Player doesn't even look like you. I'm like, I'm 12. Like what?
The fuck you out of it?
I'm 13, dude. Like what? Like this is an NBA basketball player that I'm creating from scratch. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I had that, and I'll be honest, man, it was just weird timing, I think, and I didn't know what I had, and I just stopped. And then I went into high school and thought I would be a nerd if I kept making videos, dude. Amen. And I just stopped making videos, and now here I am 10 years later making videos.
A circle of life.
Yep, it's, dude, 100%, brother. Yeah. It's just everything will come back, man.
I used to like do live performances of songs when I was like a youngin', bro. Like just like old 50 Cent songs and shit like that. I just put like shades on and just like act like I had a microphone and just like do it in front of my parents. Like I would just like act out in front of my parents and just like sing the song, like sing along and just like perform it like for my aunts and like my uncles and shit. And they would fucking love it, bro. Like I don't even know, but like that was just like, I guess like I always fuck with doing that shit. And I always like me in front of a camera because my boy used to make videos and like we always just to fuck around and just do it at his crib or in his backyard, or we had like
the seed was planted, man.
Yeah, bro. So like I guess I was just always down to be in front like the camera. Like fuck it, bro. It's cool with me.
Yes.
Like, making videos was dope.
Started with my YouTube, yeah. Similar, man. And I did car trick videos. Actually, was some of my first videos I ever made.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, I guess that was on my first channel, and then I ended up working with a professional card thrower later on, me and Brandon. So we won't go into it because it's just we don't want to. But you can refer to other podcasts for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much on that.
Yeah, but it's neither here nor there. It was just a step in the journey.
Weird.
But yeah, I ended up working with a professional card trick artist, mentalist. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
He was doing like crazy ass flips and shit.
He was. I mean, he never did any card throwing with us, but a lot of card tricks. Yeah, a lot of like using the Alexa to like do weird shit, which is kind of crazy. Those were actually pretty good. There were some great tricks. I mean, the tricks I can't deny those, but
that's dope.
The other shit that went down, it is what it is. But
you ever been like skydiving or anything?
I'd love to. I'm a full adrenaline. I've got motorcycles.
I peeped those. Yeah, them shits were fire. You like roller coasters and shit like that?
Yeah, I love anything like in a car. Like, dude, I'm driving Brandon around the one day and around here, and dude, I got the Accord. It's like it's not going fast, but I mean, Brandon's you get around a turn.
He's gonna break some shit up now. You fucked up.
Right. Yeah,
you fucked up.
I'm here. What's up? What are we talking about?
The Honda Accord life.
Me bringing you down, just driving down the road, and actually, so we're driving up the road, so I'm like, I can really pin it because I'm going uphill, so I don't have to worry about like hitting the brakes. So I'm pinning that motherfucker. I'm going around a turn. We're whipping it. Brandon's over in the passenger seat, and I make a left onto my road at the bottom of my road, and he looks over and he goes, "Bob, you're not even wearing a seatbelt."
I'm so glad you wrote this. No, you want to know why this is great, Bob? Because
what?
All right, so I'm thinking about it, and I forget why it came up in conversation, but I'm talking to Tarek on the ride here today, and I'm explaining to him like basically that story, how I'm like, we're out here in the woods, you know, Bob lives out here, it's beautiful, the foliage, you know, but we're out in the middle, like it's all spread out, you know, and the roads are long and they're windy and there's some interesting turns, and we're just like, yeah, like Bob goes like 100 sometimes, or he'll just be doing his thing. Like I could be exaggerating, you know, quotes 100, but yeah. Bob's doing his thing, going around the road, and not rocking a seatbelt, and I'm like,
Allegedly.
You know, this I could have been hallucinating. You know, I'm not sure.
No, I wasn't wearing one.
All right. but yeah, it was interesting.
But
Tarek,
I wasn't going on.
Tarek, I don't want to incriminate anyone, so if you want to talk about the rest of the story,
Nah, go ahead, bro. You already got this far.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so
that's funny,
so at the moment that I say this, I realize Tarek is not wearing a seatbelt either. We had just, you know, been driving.
Also in a Honda Accord.
Yeah, also I think it's a Honda Accord thing, you know? It must be a Honda Accord thing. But no,
he knows how to drive around here.
I was just
You got to get a little loose.
So
no seatbelt.
Yeah, but I'm going to go now, but maybe they want to hear your opinion on seatbelts.
No, dude, I would recommend seatbelts full stop.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd recommend those.
Drive safe.
Yeah, man. No, I just like messing around, dude.
I learned how to drive in Egypt, bro. Like, on God, I learned how to drive in Egypt.
When were you there?
I mean, I'm Egyptian, so like I used to go there like every single year.
Dude, I feel like I'm such a bad interviewer, dude. There's so many things that you brought up so much later that I wish that I would have asked you about that I just didn't know. Like Egypt, there's some of these, the SFE. Anyway.
Weird.
Now that we're an hour and a half in, I'm finally getting to the meat of it.
Weird. So I'm with my uncle, and like I was like 15 at the time. And yeah, I used to go there like, every year until after I turned 15 or 16. I stopped going. I haven't been there in a minute now. And I was like watching him drive, and I was like asking him, I was like, yo, like you think like you could teach me how to drive? Like I'm about to be like basically old enough to drive. It's me being 15, just trying to, you know. And he's like, you know what, like I got you. Like, and he asked my pops, he's like, yeah, whatever, like just make sure you don't go nowhere crazy. Like, word. So mind you, like around the time, like they only had like mostly stick shift cars, like manual. So he taught me manual there. And bro, like in Egypt, there's like no rules on that motherfucking road. There's no rules.
That's why did you see the one when they drive sideways on the tire and everything? There they do crazy shit.
They do some wild shit out there, bro. One time we was driving like, and like a car was coming like right directly towards us, like, and we had to like skirt out the way. Like niggas speed, motherfuckers don't got red lights in that bitch unless it's like the downtown areas and shit like that. But like
other than that, it's kind of free.
Yeah, you kind of just do your thing on the road.
What's the cultural difference like between Egypt and like what do you have? Has that rubbed off on you? Like, does it influence you still? Or do you think you're fully Americanized?
Nah, people in Egypt like to joke a lot. Like, we're very heavily based on gassing and laughing at things very loudly, or just making jokes about it, roasting people and shit, like dark humor type shit. But you know what I'm saying? We definitely keep the energy live, if you ask me. As far as mannerisms and things like that, everybody there is a lot, like, I guess you could say kinder. They gonna roast you, but like as long as you can,
but ultimately they're really
nice. They're naturally nicest, like the nicest people ever, honestly. Like they offer you, like if you at a restaurant, you don't got money, like you wouldn't, like they'll give you food for free, like they give you extra food for free, like shit like that. They're very like, I don't know, like their basis is like to genuinely care for other people. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Which I'm not saying, like, you don't see that a lot around America, and I notice that a lot when I'm over there. And they take a lot of pride in what they do there, and like, you know, how they live their life. And you know, everyone there is like always looking out for each other type shit. Everybody knows each other there too. Like and everyone treats each other with like a lot of respect. But like, you know, when they get rowdy though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's much older culture as well, much older.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Like, but like, you know, like I said, there's a lot of like modernized areas too, but there's a lot of like, you could find a lot of ancient architecture there still. Are
the pyramids just a massive tourist spot, but are there other tourist spots that are actually really cool in Egypt?
Like the Nile River.
Yeah.
There's like one of the like tallest buildings in the world are definitely there. I forgot what it's even called, to be honest. I haven't been in a minute, but there's a lot of places like New Egypt over there. There's a lot of downtown areas. There's a lot of excursions. The resorts, like there's the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. You can hit either one, bro. North, south of Egypt.
Damn, I'm trying to go to a different sea.
Yo, bro, when I tell you the water hit different there, bro, like the shit is beautiful, bro. You look through, you could see through that shit. Like you see feet, you see it's not
this bullshit.
New Jersey water,
water.
Yeah, the dump water. It's really dump water, bro. That shit is not supposed to be that color, gang. Like after I was at, like in Egypt or like in different countries and shit, bro, I was like, yo, the water here is like you feel great swimming in it. Generally, like you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that shit just you feel like
I swam in a river my whole life, but luckily it was pretty safe.
like fresh water.
Yeah, fresh water, but yeah, no, not. Well, I always went to the ocean too, but
Yeah.
there's. I mean, they call it Dirty Jersey for a reason. I mean, if you want to talk about Jersey specifically,
Yeah, it's Dirty Jersey for a reason for sure. Yeah,
rivers be looking like whack colors though.
some mud in that, but that's not just mud, just some wild shit in there. I don't swim in that shit. I'll tell you that. I've seen people do some wild.
Yeah,
it's the people that I be seeing swimming in these shits, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're living a different life.
A whole different life. You don't care what you like. I know you swallow some of that water, like too. Wildin'. For real, could never be me,
Dude, as we're wrapping up here, like, do you have anything that on the horizon in terms of like anything you need to promote or anything that you have coming out that's not out yet?
For sure, bro. I got one video that's coming out. It's coming out Audio Mac, YouTube, and SoundCloud. I'm calling it. I'm actually not gonna tell you the name yet.
All right, don't drop it.
But it's produced by Grim Doza. He's a Jersey native as well. Fire producer. Probably produced some of your own favorite works as well. But it's coming out within the next week or two for sure.
Oh,
probably the time this podcast
this will actually be out on Monday, so
probably after this podcast is out.
I can upload it though for sure. It's all right. You can still use it to
for sure.
Yeah.
But we shot a really dope video for that, and the message is there in that song for sure. The production is fire as fuck. Like it just has to be shared with the world. I got some works with my boy Blaine XIX from London, man. We got some crazy shit coming, so I'm looking to do maybe like, let me not talk too much cause but I'm looking to do something with him for sure. We got some fire loading up for sure, and I got some other shit. Yeah, I got a lot, man.
Yeah, I love your sound, man. I really do get that kind of. I get a real hip hop vibe from it, and not as much like a modern like rap trying to chase a trend or anything like that. Yeah, I feel like you're really spitting, you're really doing your thing. You have a uniqueness for sure. I've gotten your lyrics stuck in my head, so something's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Much love.
Hell yeah, man. Brother B, anything else to add to the conversation before we wrap it up with the homie?
No.
Sometimes Brother B just throws in these wild cards.
I'm trying to think. Bob said he didn't do a good job, bro. I just want to say, Bob, you did a great job. I thought it was a great interview. I enjoyed listening to pretty much everything you guys said.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't get the clip to work, but everyone, like
good,
I mentioned earlier, you got the time code. Check that clip out at the barbershop. It's pretty funny.
I'm going to overlay some of that.
Yeah, and you'll see it. So
follow me.
No, thank you, Brother B.
Yeah, you got it.
Follow me at Rec_SFE. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the same handle. Put it right here, maybe at RecSFE. I appreciate you for having me here, bro. For real, this was a great opportunity. Thank you for your time, my boy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you,
much
man.
love for real. Yo. Thank
next,
you, Brandon.
We're going deep on Egypt next time.
Oh, absolutely, yo. Shit, let's go to Egypt. Fuck it.
Let's go. I mean, we might even take it that far.
You said.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks so much for doing this today. I really appreciate it. All the links and everything that we mentioned here, especially according to Rec, are all in the show notes and description wherever you're watching or listening. Yeah, man. I say it every time, and I'll say it again. We're on all platforms, even the ones nobody uses. All right? Catch you on the next one, all right? Deuces.
Much love.